So let's talk about how to reach out to businesses to land more interviews and land more offers for those of you that are looking for remote sales roles. First thing we want to make sure that you guys understand is why you should be reaching out directly, not just submitting applications and waiting. The reason why, number one, is there's just less competition. It's less crowded when you're DMing a business owner, sales manager, recruiter. When you're reaching out directly, there's a lot less competition because it is a task that takes some work and takes some effort, right? And whenever you have something that takes effort, less people are going to do it by nature of the fact that they can't just click apply or can't just click apply and quickly fill out a form. So when they're scrolling through, and let's say you found that job on RepSelect, let's say you found that job on LinkedIn, Indeed, wherever, Flex Jobs, whatever it was, when you find that job, there's usually an easy way to just click apply and have your resume or your profile, whatever, submitted. And a lot of people, the majority of people are just going to click and they're going to move on because that's what's easy to do. But if you just rely on that, you're probably sitting in a sea of competition with hundreds of other people. And what you can do is limit that competition by reaching out directly into the business owner or whoever's inbox of their best social channel. And the amount of people out of that hundreds that are actually going to do that is going to be significantly less. I know that for my own experience, when I've posted job opportunities, I would get 100 or 200 or 300 applicants and have 5 to 10 people, sometimes 2 or 3 people reach out directly. And those were always the people that at least heard from me first, because not only is there just less of them in the inbox versus how many are on this big list of applicants or in my applicant pipeline, I just check my DMs more than I would check my applicant list. And that's another big reason why you want to reach out directly, especially if you want to land a role quickly. Most people are more active on their social channels than they would be when they're like checking their applicant pipeline or whatever, whether they have to log into their RepSelect business owner account and check the ATS, whether they have to log into LinkedIn and go to their kind of like applicant portal. Every single thing where there's an application, like even if it's just a Google Sheet, they got to pull up forms and go to responses, or they got to pull up their Google Sheet and then scroll down to it. How often are they checking that? Maybe once a day, maybe once every couple of days. If they're trying to hire urgently, may check it a couple times a day, versus when you shoot them a DM, typically that just dings straight to their phone and they probably see that message a lot quicker or a lot more, like they just check it a lot more frequently than they would ever check whatever ATS that they have, whatever way that they're tracking their applicants. So you can just get in front of them a lot quicker. Another reason is you're showcasing skills and traits that they would want to see. At the end of the day, you're applying for a sales role, and you reaching out directly is showcasing, hey, I am willing to do things that I should be willing to do in my sales role. I have the initiative. I have the skills to research and find your contact information. Sometimes all you have is a job posting and a company name, and you have to take that company name, put it into LinkedIn, put it into Google, put it into Facebook, and then you'll find out, okay, this person's the owner, maybe this person's a sales manager, and then you reach out to them directly. It's like, okay, how did this person find me? They actually had to do some work. They had to do some research. They had to find the best point of contact at a company and then reach out to that point of contact. That shows sales skills. If you're applying for an appointment setter role, SDR role, if you're applying for any type of role, the ability to take a company name, find the best person to contact for the thing that you're trying to do, and then actually reach out to them, that is something that's going to be a natural part of your job. So showcasing that you can and are willing to do this for the interview process is going to showcase, hey, I'm willing to also do this for a lead where I'm actually going to get paid for the work that I'm putting in. So again, you're showcasing that you have traits and skills that the business owner would want to see in the sales rep that they're bringing onto the team anyway. And overarchingly, the best way to think about this is you as a remote sales rep, you need to think of your career not as an employee, but as an entrepreneur and treat your career as an entrepreneur would treat their business. At the end of the day, in the vast majority of these roles, you're a contractor, you're self-employed, and you are managing a client, not a job. This client is someone that you're providing a sales service for. And if you want to attract clients, you need to make sure that you do outreach. You need to make sure that you do marketing and branding, and you need to make sure that you have some type of consistency and workflow and plan for how you're going to bring people from cold to sold in your process of closing that deal and booking interviews for yourself, which is in turn your sales calls, right? So that being said, what you want to do before you ever reach out is make sure your socials are on point. Best case scenario, you make sure they're all good. Worst case scenario, you make sure at least the one that you're connecting with the person on is good. I can't tell you how many times I get messages from sales reps, or I've gotten messages from sales reps when I was posting and hiring for sales teams that I managed, people messaging me from accounts with memes as their profile photo, accounts with no posts, look like they were made yesterday, just weird scammer, spammy looking accounts. They would reach out and I just wouldn't respond, wouldn't want to respond, wouldn't think about it twice, because they don't carry themselves like a professional. So before you do your outreaches to business owners or recruiters, make sure that you're checking your socials. Make sure you have a good headshot photo. Think of like a passport photo, smile, look good, clean, just like how you'd appear on Zoom, mid chest to a few inches above the head, nice headshot, LinkedIn type profile photo. Not the Instagram posing on the street corner type photo. Make sure that your bio is clear. Make sure that your profile is filled out. If you can, have somewhere that showcases your work, your portfolio. Again, if you have your portfolio and everything filled out in your Rep Select profile, that's where you can have your Rep Select share profile link, maybe somewhere in your bio, somewhere on your page. The posts that you post, are they about sales? Are they about the niche you're trying to sell in? If you're trying to get a marketing offer, do you talk about marketing? If you're trying to land an Airbnb, real estate coaching opportunity, do you talk about real estate on your page? Do you look like a professional, an industry expert in the niche you're trying to actually sell in? Those things are going to massively skyrocket the responses you actually get when you reach out to business owners. Now, as for how to actually go about reaching out to these business owners, so many times, again, I'm going to talk about what people do that loses them opportunities, is they reach out and they're just asking for a handout, essentially, right? So they'll reach out and they'll say, hey, saw you're hiring, I'm a closer, what's up, right? Or, hey, are you still hiring? I've trained with this person. I went through a program, right? Those things don't matter to the business owners. Just saying you're a closer, just saying you're a setter, just saying that you're interested doesn't help them at all. It's a time suck at the end of the day. It's like, okay, you're interested, cool. But why should I interview you? Why should I spend my time responding to you? Because if I get a couple, 10 of these, 5 of these, 30 of these, if they posted on the socials and said, hey, shoot me a DM. If I get a lot of these, why you as opposed to the other 10 that said, hey, I'm a setter, what's up, right? So what you want to do instead is give them that why. Give them reasons why you're a good fit. And I'm telling you, every single person that has reached out this way has landed way more interviews and way more offers. So I know that this works really, really well. So you want to reach out, telling them why you're a good fit, and make those reasons real and believable. For example, if I'm going to reach out to a business owner, I might say, hey, business owner, saw you're hiring for closer position, saw you're hiring for XYZ position. I went ahead and did whatever you were supposed to do as in, if they had a job application link and you were supposed to fill out the application, if you were supposed to comment on a post where they say, hey, comment done, comment me if this fits and DM me this, whatever rules that were in the application where you saw the job, follow those rules. Because if you don't follow those rules first, The problem is they're going to disregard your message because they might just say, hey, go to the job post. Hey, did you follow the rules? Hey, did you do what I asked? So you don't want to showcase that you can't follow simple instructions because, again, that's a terrible first impression. So first thing you want to do is follow the instructions that they give, and then you can follow up with your pitch. So the instructions and the way I would let them know would be like, hey, business owner, saw you had a job application or saw you had a post hiring a closer. I went ahead and submitted my application and did XYZ if there was other steps or if it was just a job post. I went ahead and submitted my application. Then you want to attach below, here's why I believe I'd be a great fit. Again, you don't need to do this word for word. If everyone's just saying this word for word, then it just is not as effective. So here's why I believe I'm a great fit. Here's why I think I'd crush this offer. Here's why I think I'd be a great addition to the team. Whatever, put it in your own words. Here's why you should hire me. Reason. Give one reason, give two reasons, give three. Don't give more than three. If you don't give 5, 6, like just give up to 3 solid bullet points that make you a good fit for that offer. What does this do? This takes away the burden of having to process your video, your application, it takes away the burden of having to process whatever you sent them or your profile or whatever, because you're just telling them exactly why you're a good fit instead of them seeing your message saying, hey, I'm a setter, hire me. And then them having to be like, okay, let me check his page. Let me do this. Let me do that. Is she an actual good fit? I don't know. If they have to process that, chances are they just won't and they'll just move on, right? Whenever human beings have to do extra work, sometimes they just won't do it instead of doing the work. So you want to make it as easy as possible for them to make that quick decision, especially because this is in their DMs. When they're going to their ATS, when they're going to their like sheet of applications, they're expecting to have to go through it and decide who is and who isn't a good fit. They're ready for that. They're planning for that. It's not a necessarily extra burden for them to have to process all the information that you submitted in your application. But when you're just shooting them a DM, they're not mentally in the space, or they're not expecting to have to make that same type of mental process. Therefore, they'll probably just skip it. So again, you can remove the burden of that mental process and that mental load by just giving them reasons why you're a good fit. And then what it comes down to at that point is, are your reasons good? Are the reasons you gave good enough? And if they are, you'll get more interviews. If they're not, you won't. Really simple. Now, at the end of the day, some good reasons might be, let's say you're a former real estate agent and you are trying to apply for a coaching offer that helps people buy their first property, buy rental properties, get into Airbnb arbitrage, whatever. You can say, hey, one of the reasons I'm a good fit that you can put on there is that you were a former real estate agent and you were top, performer in your office, whatever, for sales. Like, whatever it is, find good reasons. If you are an ex-copywriter, if you used to do marketing, if you used to run a marketing agency and now you're trying to, become a closer because maybe you don't want to do so much delivery anymore, apply for a marketing offer and say, hey, one reason why I think I'm a good fit is because I know the terminology, I know the industry, I used to be a marketing agency owner. Like, use whatever history, background, things you can, even if it's just like, hey, I'm applying for your fitness offer. I have a passion for fitness. I had a weight loss journey of myself where I lost 50 pounds. I lost 100 pounds. Like, use something that you've got to showcase why you would be a great fit in this role. And something more than just like, I went through this guy's program, I bought this course, therefore I'm good for this role. Like, use something real, use something tangible, use something that they would actually care about. And then if you'd like, what really helps is you can link below, if you are going to send a link, your intro video, your portfolio of work, your whatever. This is where I usually tell people that they can link their RepSelect profile, because on your RepSelect profile, it showcases the revenue you've generated. It showcases your introduction video. It showcases all of your role plays and mock calls. It's like a hub. It's a profile. It's a social profile that's got everything that a business owner would want to see in one place. And that's where usually I would tell people to link that at the end. And the whole message looks something like this. Hey, business owner, saw you were hiring a closer for your X offer. I went ahead and submitted my application. I think I'd be a great fit because reason. If you'd like to know a little bit more, here's some more info about me. Here's my link. What would be the best next steps to proceed? Let me know. And that would be the message. Send tons of interviews. If your reasons are good and your portfolio and or your social profile, your intro video, all that stuff looks good, you will, again, land interviews. And then last thing you want to make sure you're doing, again, if we circle back to the thought process of I'm treating my sales career like a business owner would treat their business, you want to make sure that you're following up and engaging with the lead. Again, two things. One, you're treating your career properly because this is more of an entrepreneur type thing than it is a job. And two, you're showcasing skills that they would want to see in their sales rep. Once again, if you send a message and you never follow up, you never check in, you never engage with their profile, you never do anything, they never hear or see of you again, that's the first time they've seen you and that's the last time they've seen you. Again, you're not showcasing traits that they would want to see in their sales rep. I've interviewed people solely because they followed up. I've seen tons of recruiters interview people and place people solely because they followed up, solely because they engaged. And what I mean by follow up, you guys understand, you're checking in maybe every couple days, maybe after a day or two, you're checking in, you're following up with that person that you reached out to initially, not in a needy, desperate way, but in a way a professional would. I've got videos on how to do follow up if you want to learn about that. What I mean by engage is that person usually posts content. That person usually posts something on that page, especially if it's a business owner, especially if it's a sales manager. Do you engage with that content to stay top of mind? Do you look familiar? Are you building reciprocity with your engagement with their content? By engaging with their content, you become more familiar. The chances that they respond to your messages go way, way up. And when I say engage, I don't mean liking. I don't mean leaving emojis. I don't mean being like, great post. I mean meaningfully expanding upon the post, adding insights, showcasing that you are a professional, showcasing that you have an understanding of their niche. For example, if you are trying to apply for a marketing agency and you submit an application, you do everything else, and you see the business owner posts marketing insights and stuff about marketing, and then you comment on one of the marketing posts being like, hey, I like this idea. One thing that I tried when I was running a marketing agency was this, and that worked really well. Expanding on the post, adding additional value to the post, you start to not only become known to that person as, hey, this person actually understands marketing, and they're reaching out to become, to join the sales team. They're probably a good hire. Not only do they see you as someone who understands the industry, but whoever, like that influencer probably does a bunch of marketing, maybe they run ads, maybe they have a big audience. Whoever is in that audience looking through the comments that people often do, they start to also see you as an expert. They start to also see you as an authority, and you can sometimes pick up roles, you can pick up connections just because maybe other business owners see you commenting on that person. And then when you reach out to that other business owner, they're like, oh, I saw you over here, therefore I'm going to respond. This thing has a compounding effect. So you want to make sure that you're definitely following up, definitely engaging with the roles that you really want to land. It doesn't need to be, if you're doing tons of applications, it doesn't need to be every single one, but top 10, top 20 companies engage on a consistent basis, and you will start to build your network through this a lot easier, and you'll see that your responses will go up by a ton. Hopefully that helps. I'll leave it there for this one. If you want to land more opportunities, do these things. Reach out directly. I promise it'll help. And if you want an awesome profile where you can share with this message, or where you can share on your job applications, whether it be on RepSelect or on other places, fill out a RepSelect profile. It's free to create a profile and just use that as your kind of resume. Link is down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video.